prior to leaving to Florida, I was here 30 days in Cincinnati. So the goal was always to be in Cincinnati. Some things transpired. It became public that I left to go to Florida. But it was never something that I wasn't going to be here to help the 2025 Bengals.
Why did you decide to come to practice today?
Like I said, it was the plan was to be here day one. Like I said, things transpired. Nothing's really changed. So being here, just acclimating with the guys, that was a priority for my wife and I.
How would you describe the current process with the front office? Have things progressed? Are you optimistic?
I think I answered that like 2 questions ago. Things are exactly the same. What I'm not going to do is, as best as I can, avoid being a distraction. I want to help the guys. The guys that have helped me along the way, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, even Sam Hubbard helped me a lot when I was here. So to be that right now, I think that's what's most important. And this narrative will kind of iron itself out as we continue to progress towards the season.
So you're working with Shamar Stewart quite a bit. How valuable do you think that is for him right now to work with him?
Well, I mean, Cam Jordan was so valuable to me when I was, maturing in the NFL, and I feel like he's in that state. So if I can help him in any way, that's my goal for being here. And like I said, the plan was be here day one. Things transpired. News happened to me, and we just kind of make decisions as we go. There's no blueprint on what to do, how to do it. We're just going to stand true to what being Hendrickson's means to us and moving forward from that.
Is Trey still the play just on a new deal, or should you enter this season as kind of a bet on yourself?
I think not only I've mentioned it multiple times this offseason, but also I believe ownership has as well, that there are plans on not having to play under the current deal. So I think that's something we have a common goal to get to. I think that's the plan moving forward is no distractions. I'm excited to be here. I think it's great seeing the brotherhood that's been created here, and it's special. So,
are you optimistic that something gets done? I mean, I think everyone's feeling you coming back. It's getting a little bit closer. You coming back?
I think optimism I think it's just a one day at a time. I'm going to be the best Trey Hendrickson I can be, whatever that looks like. And like I said, I'm not going to be here to be a distraction. Do this for 20 minutes. Not interested. I'm going to go back to the way it's been the last 4 years. I'm very excited about that. So, get it while you can. So,
personally for you, you've done more media than you've ever done the last few months. How are you handling all this personally?
Well, I'm a firm believer hard work works. The work I've done in the last 4 years, 5 years, 8 years in the NFL is done. I can't do any more at this time to rush the passer on Sundays. The hay's in the barn. It's just whether we agree or not.
Is what you're looking for in the deal, has that changed at all? You told us back in the fall or in the spring. Is that pretty much still what you're looking for and what you would like?
Yeah, I think I've been saying it for years. You guys can look that up. I'm not interested in going over what I've said before. I think everything's out there. Now it's just focusing on this defense, how I can help, how I can mentor, how I can be a part of it in this weird process that we're going through.
Joe was talking about your presence being a difference maker in that building. As a guy who's been here for several years, are you aware that your presence makes a difference to the young defense trying to grow?
Well, what I can say is that I'm blessed to have the opportunity to give wisdom and knowledge that I've gotten from other players. To hold that as my own and say that I know everything is not true. I'm looking forward to learning and adapting into this 2025 defense however I can when that time comes. But for right now, like I said, nothing has really changed. My perspective and my wife talked about it, prayed about it. What are we going to do? How are we going to handle what's been conveyed to us? And I think punishing the young players and not being a part of their development would be a selfish act. So to come back, quote unquote, it was never the plan to leave. So being here for those guys is something I look forward to doing soon.
Trey, practicing this the key to being ready for week after the football stand?
I'm always ready. I think that's something that I take a lot of pride in, training hard in the office and getting bigger, faster, stronger. I think I tell Jeff Hobbs the same thing every offseason when we've been here together the last 2 years. So how I train, I'm not worried about. If I'm going to be ready, I'm not worried about it. Hopefully everything works out that we don't have to worry about anything like that.
And do you feel like you put a ton of work in, you put a lot of production? How important is it for you to be recognized maybe as one of the best edge rushers in the league? How much of that?
Recognition's not something I'm chasing. It's not. I think I've made my statements clear. Security is something that I value, and telling my wife where we're going to play. Those are things that matter to me. I can't talk about statistics. I can't talk about recognition or anything like that. I think when you get those things, it's an honor and a privilege, and I'm blessed to have some of the athletes I do, but I don't chase those things. So,
what's the conversations been like with Al as you kind of try to figure out what the defense is going to look like from afar? How much have you talked to Al, get a feel of kind of what he wants the unit to look like, what he wants your role to look like this season?
Yeah, in the short time I've been in these meetings, it's been encouraging. I think he's a very wise coach. He's been here before, so nothing but respect for him. And moving forward, we'll see what transpires. So I think that's been, 5 minutes? So maybe one or two more.
Have you noticed there's been a lot of talk, Trey, about the energy, the young guys, the confidence, the young players? You've been around, I know, just one day. Can you sense it? Can you notice what the defense is putting out there as far as their energy?
Yeah, I think a ton of raw talent. When you see guys with the athletic ability that they have and the tools with not only the coach's scheme and how they fit within it, I think it's really exciting, like we were talking about earlier. So I have confidence in them and what they can do. I hope that I can give them something that I've learned in the past in the time I'm here doing whatever this is. So
the front office is pretty open about things. We ran to give him a raise. Like they're not always as vocal about that kind of stuff. They were with you. What does that mean? How did you interpret that? The fact that they were pretty open about, listen, we know he's outperformed this contract. We want to make that happen.
Yeah.
What was your response when they said stuff like that?
Well, I've played the last 4 years and represented this ownership wherever I've gone. On Sundays, I'm wearing stripes. So that's something that for them to talk about me in a high regard is a special thing. If you told me that when I was 18 years old that would happen, my heart would be warm. Circumstantially, I'm more excited to getting something done, but as we continue to go through this process, I plan on handling it with respect to Zach Taylor, to the 2025 Bengals, and not being a distraction in any way, shape, or form.